Hi guys, Dr. Brian Wills coming to you live from Wills Chiropractic on a great Wednesday afternoon. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, getting outside, enjoying the abundant sunshine and the warm weather today. It's been a great month, obviously, for weather for us, for a change in Illinois here. So this whole month we've been talking about pain and symptoms and some of the most common conditions that we see in our office. And I want to tell you a little story today. So for those of you that don't know me, I grew up over in Oregon, and my dad owns a construction company called Wills Concrete. And growing up, every weekend, summer break, holiday, I spent working with my dad, pouring concrete and building houses and stuff like that. And obviously, if you ever work construction or seen construction workers, most of the time the vehicles that they drive are not the greatest vehicles in the world, just because they get the heck beat out of them with boards and trowels and shovels and all kinds of stuff. So usually not the most high quality vehicles there. And I can remember vividly one day riding in the truck with my dad, and he always turned the radio up pretty loud. And I noticed that as we were driving, the truck we were in was making kind of a funny sound. And I asked Dad what that sound was, and he said, I don't know, son. And he turned the radio up a little bit louder. And I kept badgering about it. He just kept turning the radio up, and I started to realize that he just turned the radio up to not hear the sound anymore, thinking that if he didn't hear the sound, then everything would be fine. Obviously, the truck broke down shortly after that. But I caught my dad doing that many, many times, and I finally asked him, what are you doing there? And he goes, well, if I don't hear it, then I just pretend that it's not real. I don't have to deal with it. And unfortunately, the reason I talk about that is, unfortunately, most patients think the same thing. They well, if I just ignore the symptom long enough, it'll just go away. I can't tell you how many times in practice I've heard patients say, Doc, I just thought it would go away, or I thought it would get better. And it never, never does. Okay, if you have injuries, if you have damage, if your nervous system's not working the way it's supposed to, it's not just going to go away. Your symptoms are your body's only way to tell you something is wrong. So if you keep taking medications over and over and over again, trying to numb the pain up, that doesn't take away the problem. You may not be able to feel the pain anymore, but the problem is still there doing damage. And this is why the opioid epidemic is such a huge crisis in our country right now, is because people got hooked on painkillers, basically because instead of dealing with the issue and getting the problem fixed, we just decided to cover it up with drugs. And now I think we have 130 people every day in America that die from opioid addiction every single day. And no one's talking about that now. Obviously, we're talking about COVID and all those types of things, but the far bigger killer is the opioids that we've been taking for tens of years now, and over prescription. And people always ask me, well, how does that happen? Well, people go to their MD when they have, let's say back pain or something like that, and they get painkillers and they get muscle relaxants. It's kind of the standard cocktail you're going to get from there, and they are told to go home. And 2 weeks later, the medication's gone, but the problem is still there. So the pain is 10 times worse than it was, when they originally had it, because they haven't done anything with it. So they go back and get more painkillers and muscle relaxers, and that spiral just keeps going and going and going and going. This is how people got hooked on opioids. So the message for today is, don't turn the radio up. All right, you got to make sure that if your body's trying to tell you something, listen to what your body is telling you, because you can't get a new body. We can replace knees, replace hips and things like that, but you can't replace your spine, you can't replace nerves, you can't replace your immune system, you can't replace these things. Once they're damaged, once they're broken, they're gone. Once you damage a nerve, it's done. It's game over. There's no more growing a new nerve back there. So, especially for you out there that have, leg pain, sciatic issues, carpal tunnel, those types of things, headaches. I mean, these things aren't going to go away. They're going to get better unless you deal with the cause of it, which is nerve interference or nerve damage, which is what we do all the time. Our office is full of people that, we were their last resort. They've been everywhere else. They've taken all these medications. Nothing's worked. And they come in here, and all of a sudden we locate the actual cause of the problem. We fix that, and magically their problems disappear. So just a little tip out there for you guys. Don't turn the radio up. Don't just cover up the check engine light with the tape like some people do. Let's figure out what the problem is, get it fixed. We talked about a lot of the issues people are having, kind of what to do about it this month. So now's the opportunity to really get in here and take the bull by the horns and actually get these problems fixed. So hopefully you guys thought this month was informative. Hope you guys liked the little story about my dad. Sorry, Dad, if you hear this out there, but I thought I'd throw you under the bus a little bit there. So you guys have a great week, and we'll be back next month with a whole new set of talks.